Welcome. Hey, welcome everybody. We are live here. Thanks for showing up. We're going to talk a lot about some things tonight. I had seen, so I've been real busy today. I have not had a ton of time to look at social media or anything, but my phone is blowing up. Anyways, I don't know what's going on with that, but I have some special guests here. Now, it's weird because this video was advertised that I was going to have Lezbi Nerdy on with me, and she had to kind of back out at the last minute. So I called a friend up, and so my good friend Barney Harris will be joining us. We're going to talk a little bit about season 2 of The Wheel of Time. Just kind of shoot the shit a little bit. So I know Barney hasn't done a lot of interviews, but he's going to be joining us here today. So without further ado, let me go ahead and bring on Barney Harris. Oh, wait.
Hello, everyone.
You're not Barney.
Hello.
I am Barney.
We're
you can
not.
see my name. Look, there's my Barney. My name.
Oh, that is Barney Harris.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, well, okay. So let's not bury the lead. I'm done being a troll for the moment. First of all, welcome to the Bar to the Right Hand, Vance. And, well, it says Barney. I just realized that Jenny had changed her name, and Lezbi Nerdy is here. So,
Yeah.
We are going to dive right on in and talk about all the news that's been going on. But before we do that, to introduce yourselves a little bit. You guys both have YouTube channels. Talk a little bit about them. Go ahead, Vance. You start.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead. So Vance, the Bar to the Red Hand, you're on YouTube. Big news for me today. I just passed 600 subscribers thanks to this Barney Harris news. I made 2 shorts about it, and they've got upwards of about 100 views each. So that got me 2 more subscribers from all of that. So if you're not subscribed, I'd appreciate if you go over there and do that. I'm so close to 1,000 now. I can't wait to get there. It's kind of like a benchmark. Other than that, I'm on Twitter at RedHandBard, Instagram also at RedHandBard. And just trying to be out here cautioning everybody to let's not make assumptions with no evidence. And let's just keep calm.
Sure.
As best we can. And take the news as it's coming.
That first of all, 1,000, back up a little bit. 1,000 subscribers is not just a cool milestone. That's an important milestone here on YouTube.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, that lets Vance get monetized. So if you even if you don't watch Vance, just go subscribe to his channel.
Yes.
But then you should also watch Vance.
Yes, of course.
Please. Yes.
So Lezbi Nerdy, Jenny, what do you do?
Yeah. I also have a YouTube channel where
do you have a body, by the way?
No. I had it removed for reasons.
Clearly.
Just a floating head.
Yeah.
Just a floating head.
I do, but you can't see it because it's top secret. It's government secrets, my body. But yeah, I also have a YouTube channel. I talk mostly about Wheel of Time. I also have a Twitter, Lezbi Nerdy on Twitter. I occasionally forget that Twitter exists, so I'm not as good on Twitter as Vance is. But yeah, you can come check me out on YouTube. I nerd out about things.
You know what? You know what I think I like the most? What Jenny I think does so well. Jenny brings not only a different perspective, but I think also a really analytical way of looking at the Wheel of Time. So if you, I think. And I feel like I'm vouching for everybody that watches Jenny's channel, but I think you get a different perspective on the characters when you watch her channel. So I appreciate what she makes a lot. If you guys have not followed Jenny, she is a floating head that talks about the Wheel of Time. It's pretty awesome. And she lives in Korea. So she's what time is it there right now?
It's not bad. It's 10 a.m. right now.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I thought you were getting up at 4 a.m. or something. So.
No.
Never mind. I take back all the nice things I was about to say.
I normally would be teaching. It's a national holiday today. So happy Chuseok to your wife, Javan.
Oh, yes. She was actually talking. She's on the phone with her mom actually now talking about it. And she went out and bought groceries. She's like, we got to make Chuseok food. I'm like, oh, yes. I forgot. It's that time of year.
Well,
yep.
Okay.
Oh, she just popped in the door here. She's like, "Are you talking about me?"
Yes.
Well,
No.
guys, let's focus up because I know everybody is dying to hear about this. So let's first talk about the news that came out not that long ago. Basically, what Deadline released an article. There's actually copied articles from like it's popping up a lot of places now. So if you Google this, you're going to see it. And then, to my knowledge, it has been confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just a rumor. Barney Harris will not be playing Matt in season 2 of Wheel of Time. He is going to be replaced. He's going to be replaced with an actor named Donal Flynn, or Donal Finn. Sorry, Finn, Finn, sort of like the Finns. Who we'll talk about here in a moment. But I think it's more important before we get to talking about Donal, who I actually like a lot. We'll get there. Let's talk about Barney, and let's talk about that situation. So here's what we know, and then I kind of want to preface that with what we don't want to start doing. So what we know is that Barney isn't playing Matt in season 2. We know that Barney did play in season 1. They have recast him. There can be a number of reasons why something like this would happen. It could be a personal issue. It could be he wasn't working out in the role. It could be he chose to leave. It could be they chose to go a different direction. It could be he decided he did not want to be. He realized that this was going to take up 8 years of his life. Like, there could be any number of reasons. What I think is not going to be super helpful. And again, you got to remember, he is a human being. I have spoken with Barney before, and he's a human being. And he had reached out to me when he first got the role because he had watched a video I had made, which was really cool. And he was like, "Hey, any advice on playing Matt? Anything I should know?" And this is like right after they announced the casting. I mean, he's a human being. So it's, what I don't want to do is start throwing out, maybe I've seen some people saying some, I'll call it ridiculous stuff, just in the sense of it's ridiculous in the sense that no one knows. So I don't want to get into the rampant speculation about what happened, right? We may find that out. That may be announced by somebody, or it may not be announced by somebody. So we don't know that yet. But I guess right off the bat, and I think this is a question I want to throw to you guys, because I feel like we're all three on the same page. We were talking about before this. We're not trying to take guesses as to what happened. But what are your general thoughts? Like, are you heartbroken by this? Are you kind of excited by the new direction? Or you feel like it's a down? Like, what are your initial thoughts? So let's go to you first, Vance.
Well, for me, I'm shocked mostly. Obviously it's a big production, and things that come with scale of this size of a production are sometimes security in your talent, in your main cast. However, that's not a guarantee. It's a nice buffer, but it doesn't provide you this 100% that they're going to stay throughout the whole project. And we might be in that kind of situation where maybe Barney didn't want to keep working on the project. He maybe felt too much pressure from fandom or whatever. Because let me face it, us fans are putting a lot of pressure on this main cast for the next 7 to 8 years of the show, possibly, to nail these characters we all love. And that can take a big hit, I think, on anyone who maybe takes up these roles and acts, especially when there is such an active and very invested fan base like we have. So, definitely shocked. I'm not going to say that I was like the biggest Barney fan out there. He had kind of won me over, especially with his social media insanity storm of 2020. But I can't for certain say when his picture popped up that he was going to play Matt, that I was like, that's Matt Cawthon to me. I get more of that vibe from Donal, honestly, just looking at his headshot. That's me personally. I know a lot of people are invested in Barney as Matt. A lot of folks loved Barney as Matt, and I understand the heartbreak and the frustration that comes with that.
Yep. Before we get to you, Jenny, Rayor said, if you still have contact for Barney, please pass along best wishes and thanks for season 1 from all of us. And I'm sure he will hear that. I actually do not have his information anymore, unfortunately. So, but yeah, I think that's well said, Vance. What about you, Jenny? What are your general thoughts so far?
I mean, as everybody, I completely shocked. Like it was. I think I'm seeing people say this as well. I had the same thought. Is this a joke? Like, is there some sort of like, is it a prank or something? But it has apparently been confirmed by Dragon Mount, who reached out to Amazon. I don't know. You know, that's what I've heard. He was not the cast member that I was most attached to. I think everybody knows that was Zoe. That's Zoe Robbins for me. But he did look like Matt to me. So it is a shock. Like Matt, he hasn't taken over my headcanon for Matt, to be honest. But it worked.
Mm-hmm.
I will say one of the first thoughts I had was I kind of wish that we hadn't found out about this until at least I'd seen Barney in this role, because now I can't unknow it, and I know I'm going to be watching it knowing that, oh, this isn't Matt forever.
Yeah. So yes, that is exactly my thought. So I'm glad you said that, Jenny, because that's where I was going to go with this. I'm not crushed, right? I mean, I'm upset and sad that it happened, because I don't think it's good for a show when you have to recast a main character, regardless of the circumstances surrounding it. Usually that's not a good thing, right? Yeah. If you're coming to that, it means you either made a mistake or that person felt like they made a mistake or something happened. None of those are great circumstances. So, but if they were going to do it, in my mind, like, I would think that they would have wanted to wait until season 1 had at least released and we had gotten through it, because we're going to have probably a year, guys, until we see season 2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they would have had plenty of time to kind of get that out there and talk about it. But now we are watching season 1, knowing that one of these characters isn't going to stay the same. Mm-hmm. So it's harder to, I think, to get attached to that. So in my mind, I don't think Amazon wanted this.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I think it was a leak.
I think this was a leak. I don't think this was meant to be getting out.
Right.
And I think that's unfortunate. Now, I think it also explains the lack of seeing Barney in any of the social media from the other accounts. Like, there was a period where they were all together. If you guys remember this early on, like every picture they took had everybody, and then Matt kind of disappeared. And we just kind of assumed he wasn't filming, but it might be that. Well, to be clear, we also haven't seen Donal, so who knows? That being said, I that is a concern of mine, that this was leaked, and I do think that can hurt the show, because that's where my mind goes with this. I don't have a great attachment to Barney yet, primarily because I haven't seen him act on the show. You know what I mean? Like, we've seen him pick up the dagger.
Yeah.
We've heard him say like one line at a table read. And frankly, from the table read, I'll just give my opinion. I didn't feel like in the table read, I didn't feel like it nailed Matt. Matt, I think, is always going to be a hard character to act. I mean, for the same reasons Brandon Sanderson had problems writing Matt. He's just a very difficult character, because what his internal monologue and what he does are often two separate things, right? And how do you portray that? So, because he's not just a lovable rogue. That's not what Matt is. And I think that's what Sanderson kind of wrote him as in Gathering Storm, is a lovable rogue type that makes stupid jokes about boots, right? But not the Matt that has conflict in it. So, all things being considered, I wish Barney well, regardless of what happens.
Oh yeah,
I feel like that's probably the overwhelming thing that I've seen from most of the fan base so far, is that regardless of what went down, regardless of if it's something happening personally, whatever it is, I think people are wishing Barney the best. I don't think there's any ill will here. That is, until somebody comes out and starts bashing the show. You know, if we find out there's like major drama behind the scenes. Hopefully that never happens. But I do think, as much as I wanted to help process that, I don't think there's much else to talk about with it other than getting into the speculation of like what happened, right?
Yeah, which I feel like is only going to go in bad directions.
No, it's not good. I've been purposefully cautioning folks on Twitter against it. just saying we have no evidence that anything occurred. We don't even know that, if Barney left of his own accord or if he was let go. We have no idea. So the whole thing, I'm like, is just wait for an official statement, and they may not tell us.
Yeah, and if we don't know, it's not really our business. Like,
right.
Well, what I would like to do instead for this time is I want to shift to talking about who we do have.
Yes.
And I want to take and talk a little bit about Donal Finn. Because I actually think I didn't know who he was. Now, if you've seen The Witcher, you've seen him. Yep. He has a clip in The Witcher. He has speaking lines.
I was going to say, if you've seen The Witcher and you remember any of it, I watched The Witcher. It went in my eyes and then immediately out of my brain. I don't remember.
I was going to show everybody that clip, but I realized I think there's a better one. We're not going to show a clip from The Witcher, but I am going to play you guys a couple minutes of an interview with Donal. Now, some of you have seen it, some of you have not, but I think this will give you a feel for who he is, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. So I'm going to go ahead and play this clip. I don't know how long I'll let it run until I feel like we've seen enough, but this is an interview that he did for one of his roles, so I'll go ahead and play that for everybody.
Hi, I'm Donal and I'm playing Ivan McCormack in Chasing Fauna.
Here's my confession.
I was intrigued by the part of Ivan because he's quite a naive and likeable character, and he's talented and he has potential to succeed.
Kick him when he's down.
My doppelganger is probably Pierce Brosnan, and he knows it. No, it's not. My doppelganger is my best mate, Aina, from Home. I couldn't cut it as a rock star because I love my early morning starts. I kind of get out of bed at around 8 a.m. and I just think, anytime that I've slept in after 10 a.m. I've felt crap. Yeah, so I couldn't last as a rock star. At the moment, we've just finished the first week and I got to meet Ivan, which is really nice, and kind of get his side of the experience. We just practiced. We just learned all the original songs, so it's great to kind of have those to work on as well.
Okay, I feel like that's enough. So I saw that and I thought, oh damn, he's going to do a good job.
Yeah, that's literally.
As long as he's a good actor, because he has the other attributes, I feel like naturally. Like that smirk is my headcanon for Matt.
Yeah.
That's the best smile. That is the best smile. It's the same. I think I even commented that on your tweet, Jenny. I was like, man, that's Matt's best smile.
That's the smile that he thinks that gets him out of trouble. That's
right. Exactly.
Right. That's Matt's best. Let me real quick hit a few things. I don't want to miss these tips. I love Donal's beautiful Irish accent. Thank you, Loyals Book Club. Yes. And we're going to talk about that because he has an Irish accent. Barney does not. And so the question will be, will they be having Donal not use his beautiful Irish accent? We'll find out. We'll talk about that here in a moment. One other tip we have William Jones. Hail Lezbi. It's been a while. To be fair on the Matt issue, I don't have a preference. However, the replacement looks... What? Okay. We're done with that comment.
All right.
Okay.
Maybe read them before you highlight.
Maybe read them before I throw them up there. But of course, that's fitting for my channel anyway. What are we talking?
It is.
I'm a part of Carvalho and After Dark. We love that stuff.
Yeah.
This is YouTube. YouTube is different.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
Okay, we got one more comment, and this is actually speaking of Tarval and After Dark. Oops, that's the wrong person. Oops, I'm bad at this. The Oberlin study, my good friend Jesse, for Donal's adorable smirk and lip bite.
Yeah, that lip bite was good.
He is adorable, and tell me that did not. Like, do you think? I guess let's go to you, Jenny, first. Like, what are your thoughts on Donal? Do you feel like we don't have a ton to look at of him? Yeah. But what are your initial thoughts? Is he going to do well as Matt?
Okay, as you know, we're watching an interview, so I cannot say anything about his acting ability. He was in The Witcher. Don't remember anything about The Witcher at all, so I cannot comment about that. But he looks the part. That smile, that charm, the that like you all love me, right? Like that kind of feeling. Like I like it. It does read Matt to me. It reads Matt. Like I know you guys saying you weren't as sold on Barney. He reads as Matt to me as Barney did. Like that. So as long as he's a good actor, then I feel good. Plus I love an Irish accent. We can talk about that in a bit, but yeah. It's a good accent.
What are your thoughts, Vance?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to echo basically what y'all said, but I mean, I've seen on Twitter, and I agree with it a lot, of he has big Matt energy, and I definitely 100% agree with that take. The smile in that interview is what sold me on him for sure. The accent did concern me. I'm not sure if they're going to make him, go more of a neutral kind of British Isles accent, or have him keep his stronger Irish accent, because that is going to be a jarring shift, I feel like, season 1 to season 2 for a lot of folks. But we can even get into like the Game of Thrones comparisons here, where they recast several characters several times in some situations, and accents did change. And honestly, after the initial 5 minutes, it didn't really matter anymore, to be completely honest. The
one that comes to mind is Dario, right?
Exactly.
Like big recast.
Yeah.
That was like the big one, right?
Is it the one they didn't even bother with a wig? Like that's the one where
yes.
Like totally different all the way around.
Nothing. Yeah. Just completely different.
And you know what? It didn't bother me. I thought it would, and it didn't.
Yeah. I didn't realize it was supposed to be the same character for a while. I was like, oh.
Right. Yeah. Well, Game of Thrones had that problem anyway for other casting reasons throughout its runs. But that one did bother me actually a little bit, but only for like the shortest of like 5 minutes. And then I realized that it didn't matter, because ultimately that storyline didn't really.
Jason Haddad, thank you. Jason's a huge supporter of the channel. Yes, the lip bite with that little crooked smile is adorbs. I feel like the tipping section on the video today has turned into thirst tweets about Donal. So if you have your thirst
highlighted
and you want your thirst highlighted, please tip, and we'll make sure to read it out loud, as long as you don't mention porn in the title in your comment.
Oh, shouldn't you be putting a wig on?
Only when I'm asked to put a wig on.
Oh, okay. So it's no longer compulsory.
It's not compulsory for tipping. It's compulsory, like if they want the wig on, you tip and say wig, and then the wig goes on. That's how it works. Or at least that's how I've redefined the rules of how it works.
Yeah.
Now, I would prefer, I'll tell you what I would prefer. If he can do a perfect English accent that sounds somewhat like Barney and it's not difficult for him, then cool, do it. If that's a struggle, I don't care. In my mind, do your Irish accent. Like, go for it. And
the Irish accent, it feels Matt-ish to me, the Irish accent, to be honest. Yeah, that is also very, very true.
I agree.
Yeah.
Here we go. Can we acknowledge how Twitter of Time went from freak out grieving to thirst tweets? Bonkers, bonkers. Yes, Marissa, or Marisa, whichever way you pronounce it, you are absolutely right.
Yeah.
So we have Geeky Airy to thank for drudging up that interview there and setting us on the thirst hunt here. So
I googled it. I didn't know Yuri had found it.
She tweeted out about it.
Came in as a search engine on YouTube for him. But thank you anyway, Geeky Yuri. She tracks everybody. Now you have a new person to get a tracker on. Do you think Donal was a third choice for Matt in the initial auditions, or they just called him to ask after whatever happened to Barney? I don't think that he would have been a third choice. I think that they would have, because people move on, like they're damn it.
You
brought it up, Vance. You did this to him.
Yep. I did this. This is my contribution. Actually, it's I just inspire it. It's actually Jess's contribution. Let's be real.
If I cover up one eye.
Yeah. Like check out Zed's comment. Zed is also quite verbose.
I feel like I am I feel like I'm in like an 80s new age rock band, where like they have the hair that is hanging in front.
Oh yeah, like the Flock of Seagulls. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. MK. I didn't even like Barney at first anyway. This is just non-news. Now I find that hard to believe that this is non-news.
It's
Boom,
not
Kojima!
non-news. It is
Kojima,
not
Kojima.
non-news.
Because
Kojima,
first of all, if you
Kojima.
guys are not aware, MK is an amazing artist.
Yeah.
And MK
Yes.
drew an amazing drawing of Barney as Matt.
Phenomenal. I mean,
Like,
it is
phenomenal
amazing. Yeah.
It's
I
really
can
good.
imagine being a little emotionally invested here because you spend all this time on something and then we're going to have to do a different person.
Yes.
And MK does have an unhealthy crush on Matt as a character in general.
Yeah.
So, right?
Yep.
I feel for you, MK. I do. Now we got them all coming out here. Tony Kurriger.
I was
You
going to
believe
bring
me,
this
Mr.
up.
Fact,
I was
didn't
going to
ask-
bring this up.
That a pin. I did say that earlier. I did.
Snakes and Foxes on Twitter also
Yeah.
pointed that out, by the way.
Yep.
Well, yes, he is a Finn.
Mhm.
So that will work out well when he gets to that point. Now,
Yeah.
I am fairly excited. Again, there's very limited information to go off of. So I'm trying to look at it in a positive way. Do I wish that we had not had a change?
Of course.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I wish that the circumstances were not needed to have a change. I wish all of that.
Mhm.
Being considered that I can't change the fact that the change happened, am I happy going forward? I will reserve. I mean, again, I wasn't even like. Here's the part where it makes it hard. Had I watched Barney and thought, "Damn, he is so good as Matt. Like I can never see anybody as him again," and then I found out about this.
Yeah.
Right? It might be like that would be
You'd
tough.
be crushed. Yeah.
But gosh, this just gets more ridiculous every time I touch it. But I don't know that. I guess I'll put it this way: we don't know what they are going to look like. We don't know how good of a job Barney did. Maybe Barney wasn't good in season 1. Who
We have
knows?
no idea. Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't
No
seen
idea.
it. We don't know.
We don't know. So for that same reason, I don't know in the same way about Barney that I don't know about Donald.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
And so I can just go on the look and I can say, I feel like he has the cute, quirky smile, but he's also not like, how do I put this without sounding like he's cute, but he's not drop dead gorgeous like Galad, right?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
he's got that cute smile. Like that's always how I kind of pictured Matt.
He's approachable.
Right. There very
Yeah.
much. Jimmy Olsen, you didn't have anything to say, but I appreciate it. Thank you, Jimmy. Feel free to say something and I'll shout you out. Now, this is an important one for Matt Hatch. So I guess Barney
Yeah.
isn't going to blow.
That's the saddest part of all of this.
Does
The
that mean that
hashtag.
Matt was right? Does that mean that Matt was right?
Technically,
Technically, yes. If we take hashtags as canon.
Guys,
for
we
this
have.
debate.
I'm sorry, I got to cut you off. We have breaking news. Something just came in. This is important. And Jason Haddad is breaking this. And so I don't know how you guys are all going to feel about it.
yep. Let's do it. Yep. Okay.
The
We all
entire
knew this was
cast,
gonna
recast
Yeah.
with Shannara Chronicles. John
Mhm.
Rhys Davies will be playing Tom. So
It was a bait and switch the whole time.
bait and switch.
Yay! So
He's the only one I think I can name. Who played Aladon in that series? Because he was also kind of famous.
Manu Bennett.
Manu Bennett was a choice for a lot of people for Lan way
Oh.
back.
I mean, I think he could have probably pulled it off.
Rachel Sadai, thank you very much. Twitter of Trime, stages of grief, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, clearly horny, and then acceptance. That is
Yeah.
a truer
100%
statement has not
correct.
been said here.
yeah,
So
that is very true.
Every stage of grief has been
Mm.
experienced within the last 3 hours.
I was gonna say that's not. I don't generally include horny in my stages of grief, but yes, in this case, yes.
David Gregory says book canon covers physical changes to characters. Just need the dark one. Could be an interesting storyline. Wig, please. So
Yes.
you got your wig, David. You got your wig. I will not be. I don't want them to explain it in world. I might be on my own on this because I know some people are like, it could be the dagger changing him. I think that is
Nah.
much less believable than just pretending like it didn't happen and moving on. That's what I would prefer. Oh my gosh, here we go. More thirst. Wave recasting Matt. Let me get another.
Oh Lord,
Prince, you're killing me. You're killing me with this thirst. This is so funny.
So true.
Yeah.
So this is the thirst tweet marathon here.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
I-
So okay, regarding accents, one of the things I'm
Mhm.
actually curious about to know is if all of the Two Rivers crew is going to have the same accent, because they're all from different places, the actors
Mhm.
in general. The only Two Rivers person we've heard speak in the show, like we heard Barney in that table read, but that was not the show, is
Mhm.
Tam. Like he's the only Two Rivers voice we've heard. So are they all
Right.
going to have that accent? I don't know. Like, or is Zoe Robbins going to have a slight chirpy Kiwi accent? Like, is that, we don't know.
I would assume.
I would assume so too, but
I would
don't-
assume we're going to have everybody does their own accent,
yeah.
and maybe they'll twist it a little bit. Mainly because Yosha, I don't think the Dutch accent translates very well to a British accent. I think it's very difficult. And Yosha speaks wonderful English. It's not a problem. But it's a very Dutch version of English.
Right.
If you hear him, like you can tell. That's a very difficult accent, I think, to move. My opinion.
Mhm.
In the very same way, I think Russian accents are very difficult. If you have a Russian accent to go to like a British accent, I think it's difficult. So that being said, that how do you connect the fact that that his dad is Michael Mickelhatton, who's got a very posh British accent, right?
Mhm.
It'll be interesting. I mean, Madeline Madden is she's not Indian. I was about to say Indian. She's not. She is from Australia.
Australian, Aboriginal.
She's Aboriginal. Like she's got Aboriginal background, I believe, right? But I think she has an Australian accent. I've never heard her talk, but I have. I lied, but let me hit some comments because we just got a million of them, and if I don't hit them, we'll pass them by. So Jimmy Olsen now. Well, we actually accepted Brandon Sanderson finishing the books after Robert Jordan died, so we'll probably survive this one too. Excellent point.
Yep.
We had an entirely new author write it. I'm sure we'll survive this one. Harlden, thank you, man. You can comment something.
Good point.
Yeah, good point.
But thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Adam Despain says, if Barney nails the role, it'll be near impossible for Finn to follow it up and be accepted. If Barney sucks, season 1 won't be as awesome as we all want. I think that could be I generally understand that as a fear, Adam, but I don't think it'll be impossible because I think at the end of the day, it is season 1 and it's not. I think it would be different if Matt was the main character.
Yeah.
Right? He is one of an ensemble and probably arguably the least important of the main characters in the first season, in my opinion. Like if you're following the books at all, Matt is by far the least important of character. He does almost nothing other than get them in trouble.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a lot of speaking lines.
Till the end of book 2.
He doesn't even have a point of view. Like, so I don't think that we're going to live and die based on Matt, if you will, but I still don't think it's great for the show, but I don't think it's a death knell for it. Like, I don't think we're looking at the end of the Wheel of Time because of this. So, yeah, I guess I'm not. I still just feel very good about what I've seen in that interview. I just feel like he has the vibe. I feel like Donald has the vibe. And I think you could make an argument that Donald kind of has that playful vibe more maybe than Barney did.
In this interview, he has that more to me in the interview. Yeah.
So who knows? Who knows? And maybe we'll find out more. Maybe we'll find out more about what happened. We'll find out hopefully it's good. Like, I'm hoping that it's mutually decided to part ways, or Barney just didn't. I'm hoping it's a Barney just didn't want to. He realized he didn't want to be doing this for 10 years. Because even if we only get 8 seasons, guys, there's no way 8 seasons takes less than 10 years.
Yeah.
Right.
If not more than that.
Right. I mean, because we're already 2.5 years into production.
2.5. Yeah. And we
I
had
mean,
season.
7 years of Game of Thrones was 10 years. 7 seasons was 10 years.
Yeah.
So
it is a large chunk of your life. That is true.
Stephanie Milligan, I'm sorry. Nobody stopped watching the Potter movies after the Dumbledore recast.
Right.
It's not Pike walking off the show. This will be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a great point, Stephanie.
Fantastic point.
Yeah. Jay Diggity, would this force some editing in season 1, reshoots that we know were done? I do not think so. I do not, because we've already seen Matt in the trailer.
Yep.
I don't think they're like reshooting Matt.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think they're going to do that.
Sorry, just like what is that thing they do? These deep fakes.
Deep fake of him?
It'd be so weird. Don't do it. Don't do
someone commented that somewhere I read. They're like, well, what if they just take all this time, the 2 months between now and then, and deep fake him into the thing? And I'm like, they're not gonna. First off, you know how long it takes to train one of those algorithms to one person's face at the level of efficacy that they're going to need to make it convincing? I mean, it's going to take like 6 months of just getting images of Donald into a computer, let alone like, I don't know. Like that's too much work. They're not going to do it. It's a recast. Accept it.
I feel like most people are like that I'm seeing here kind of hitting the nail on the head. Like I am for, if we're going to do it, just pull the ripcord.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Move on. Snap it. You don't need to even acknowledge that it happened. Just do it.
Mm-hmm.
And if he does a good job, people will forget very quickly.
Yeah.
Right. Now, it can be a problem if he's terrible at it. But then again, that goes back to making sure they do the casting right in the first place. Mm-hmm. So far, from what we have seen, I think they have done an amazing job with casting.
Yeah.
I think a couple things. I'm going to make some predictions. Some of this is me talking with educated guesses from having talked to some people in the know, but I'm going to make some guesses that I think people are going to be hopefully happy about. Mm-hmm. One, I think Zoe Robbins as Nynaeve will be amazing. I think people are going to be very, very happy with that. That has been something that I've heard talked about as...
I've heard Sarah say that, which makes me so excited.
That she's remarkable.
Yeah.
So that's right off the bat. I think people are going to be and that I think was the casting most people were worried about because they didn't like her experience was Power Rangers.
Yep.
Right.
I think she will surprise people. I think Marcus will surprise people.
Marcus is just so good.
For sure.
Marcus is very good.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think Rosamund and Daniel Henney are what they are, but I think the other actor that, at least from my perspective, that I think is outstanding is Yosha. I think Yosha is very good. And I think people will be very happy with him as Rand. I love Madeline. The more and more I see Madeline dressed as Egwene, the more and more I love her as Egwene. Mm-hmm. So what's amazing with all of this is how this becomes your headcanon.
Yeah.
We have another special guest joining us here in a minute.
Ooh.
In about 10 minutes. So everybody stay tuned. Do you guys mind if we go over our hour a little bit?
I'm okay with it.
You can go a little. Yeah.
National holiday
for our
here,
special guest that's going to be hopping on. So real quick, thank you, Ben. Again, no comment, but thank you. Appreciate you. We have Red and Black Dog. Speaking of accents, will all the Sean Chan sound like Matthew McConaughey? All right. Now, I would die if they all sounded like Matt. I mean, who does not want to sound like Matthew McConaughey?
Everybody.
Who might get me to like the Sean Chan?
Yeah. For real.
What if they cast Turok as Matthew McConaughey?
Oh my god!
That would be amazing. I would flip.
That would be fantastic.
That would be actually awesome. I'm sorry. I think that would be fantastic.
Yeah, I always thought that the Southern accent thing sounded ridiculous until listening to Wheel Takes podcast, where one of the podcasters, he does accents. Like he actually was a dialect trainer or coach. I don't know what that job is, but that was his job for a while. So he does this kind of as his job. And so while reading the Shanchan, he read them in a Texan accent, or at least a Southern accent. And I was like, oh, it actually works. It works. Like, it doesn't sound as ridiculous as I think we all imagine it does.
Well, I think we all go when I do it. Like we did a sketch on that on Tarval and After Dark where I just took it like way too far.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
yeah,
that's what everyone does.
Texas sayings and
yeah. But it fits. So
Barney taint Matt.
Get it?
Words.
Get it? Yeah, you get it. You
I
get
love
it.
it.
Yeah.
Fun note, that's actually how the word taint is used where I was born, just so y'all are aware.
Okay, so Andrew Berenson said, did you see Wheel of Time included the montage of shows that are on Amazon Prime, the commercial that ran on the Emmys? I did not see that. I didn't watch the Emmys, but that's pretty cool. I told you guys, like I've been saying this in videos, we are getting to the phase where you are going to start seeing the trailers everywhere. Amazon does this blitz thing where like I know on my videos, one of the ads that typically runs is the trailer. I know that.
I saw a native trailer the other day and I was so excited. Like it was like, a native Wheel of Time trailer.
Well, where I'm excited to see it is go to the movie and then you go to the movies and then you see it.
Okay.
Yep.
So, hey, I know we have a lot more people that have joined us right here. I'm going to play again, just so to recap. We have Barney Harris is not going to be playing Matt in season 2. He has been replaced by an actor named Donal Finn. I keep saying Flynn. Donal Finn.
It's because it's
like Dahmer Flynn.
It's Dahmer Flynn.
Yeah. But I'm going to play a clip of him, so just so everybody can get a feel. I know some of you have seen this. I won't go as long this time, but so you can get a feel for who Donal is. So let me go ahead and play that clip, and we'll keep talking about it.
Hi, I'm Donal, and I'm playing Ivan McCormack in Chasing Fauna.
Here is my confession.
I was intrigued by the part of Ivan because he's quite a naive and likeable character, and he's talented and he has potential to succeed.
Kick him when he's down.
My doppelganger is probably Pierce Brosnan, and he knows it. No, it's not. My doppelganger is my best mate, Aina, from home. I couldn't cut it as a rock star because I love my early morning starts. I kind of get out of bed at around 8 a.m. and I just think any time that I've slept in after 10 a.m. I've felt crap. Yeah, so I couldn't last as a rock star.
All right, we had to stop at the biting of the lip.
Yes.
So we can get the thirst tweets going again here from everybody. That should be the prompt for everybody to go, ooh, thirst, and then just throw it out there, because that's what's been happening. So
there's another message in that there, one for Jenny.
Jenny, for Lezbi, breaking. Sean, I can't say that.
Shohreh Aghadushlu. She's the actress who played Christian Avasarala in The Expanse. And no, she can't play Cadsuing because I am attracted to Shohreh and I do not want to be attracted to Cad
she
Swain.
would be an amazing Cad Swain.
No!
Absolutely
No.
would be. Yeah, she would.
But you know, who my Cad Swain is Michelle Yeoh.
Okay, stop naming hot actresses for Cad Swain. I can't handle this. It's not okay.
Village Mattress, thank you, man. The timing is fine to recast Matt. Matt truly will come into his own in season 2 or 3. We likely won't get Talmana since 3 or 4, so all the other notable relationships Matt has are after season 1 as well. Totally agree. If it's going to happen, now's a good time.
The best place, yeah.
I would not prefer finding out about it until before the first season.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree with you in the sense that I would rather it happen after the first season.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the time to do it.
Musu. As awesome as Barney's smile and cheeky nature in the trailer at the table was, I feel like Donal looks more like Matt in my head.
Same.
I agree. He's also younger looking. Barney with his beard has like the look of a 27-year-old, right?
Yeah.
I feel like Donal looks like he could legitimately be 20.
He looks more innocent, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I could see that, but I do. By the way, not to jump off the Cad Swains, I'm totally on board with.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I
see-
want people to like. But my last.
I see a
read-
hashtag out there.
No.
Hashtag out there. Let Cad Swain be hot.
I don't. No. My last reread, I found myself occasionally agreeing with Cad Swain and being like, "Yeah, no, she's got a point," and that was disturbing to me. I don't also want to add to.
I mean,
She is not a bad character.
no,
Yeah.
she's not a bad character at all. But I don't
She-
want to be
I mean-
attracted to Cad Swain.
This actually gets us into a little bit of book discussion. I do kind of want to make a comment about, like, sometimes people take this hardline stance against liking characters, and they're like, well, this character did this one bad thing, so they're a bad person, and I can't like them. And I'm like, guys, everyone out there's not a perfect character in the Wheel of Time. They all do shitty things at various points. You can still like other elements of them. Is Cad Swain abusive towards Rand? Absolutely. Does that mean Cad Swain's necessarily wrong all the time? Absolutely not. It makes you hate her, but also respect her. And that's the whole point of her character, by the way. Just everyone out there, like, sorry, that's just my. I've been holding that one in for a hot minute.
I've been seeing some hashtags here with Snack Swain,
Yep.
Hot Swain.
Snack Swain.
First of all, Tony, he was not replaced
Swain.
as Ruth Theron. Not replaced as Ruth Theron. He was replaced as the Shamayo.
Yes, it's true.
But I know none of us were that upset about that. Although I think there is a Billy Zane stan group out there that's all about him.
Hashtag bring Billy back.
Okay.
Amr Helen Mirren for Cad Swain.
Just
Good.
all
I mean,
of
she would
these
be great.
actresses
I like
are
it.
really, really hot, and I don't. You're all learning something about my taste in women.
Well, okay. So on this, by the way, real quick for the Amelin study, you guys should check out. She's my co-host on Tarval and After Dark. We do a podcast with Recapa Sadai from Will Talk. I think it's pretty fun.
It is.
For those of you who,
It's 100% fun.
it's a very different podcast.
Yeah.
Absolutely different podcast. Vance, tell them about our podcast. What is it?
So it's almost sketch comedy in a lot of regards, which is why it's a little refreshing. Because if you look at Wheel of Time podcasts out there, and this is not a slight or anything, I love all of our podcasting friends out there. They do phenomenal work. Everyone sees things that I don't see on rereads, and that's what I love about them. But there are 1,000,001 reread podcasts out there right now. With the show coming out and everything, it's just how it is. Tarval and After Dark is not a reread podcast. It's topical and it's comedy. They also cover news, and they have these commercials that take place throughout their show that are amazing. And this is where I'm going to give Nae'Blis the reign to play one of those commercials if he has them on hand, because, oh my gosh.
The commercials are fun.
I was winning too much in the end with my lucky dice, and now they are accusing me of cheating. I'd better call Gall.
I just happened to be hanging out with a murderer and someone saw it. Now they're accusing me of being a dark friend. Time to call Gall.
I'm a High Lord of Tyr, and one of the lowly peasants got mad that I murdered his brother for looking me in the eyes. Now the Dragon Reborn wants to cut my head off. I better call Gall.
Hi, I'm Gall. Have you been accused of something and you don't want anyone to think you actually did it? Do you want to get away with it? I believe everyone is innocent until proven guilty, and I can make sure no one is left alive to prove you're guilty. You better call Gall. I will stab the fuck out of your accuser with spears, making sure there is no one left alive to actually find you guilty of a crime. So, if someone has accused you of a crime, or they want to kill you, I will kill them first. You better call Gall.
One of those commercials, you mean?
Yes, absolutely. That's my favorite. What Better Call Gall is one of my favorite ones.
God.
It's only funny, I think. It's only funny if you've seen Breaking Bad, though, in my opinion.
Not true. Not true. I'm not a fan of Breaking Bad. Like, I did stop watching that show in season 2, and I get the references because all my friends watch it, and I understand it just by osmosis. Like,
It's fantastic.
maybe if you're younger and haven't seen Breaking Bad.
Well, enough shameless promotion for now. If you Google Donald Finn, this is Miss Sarah James, that clean-shaven picture of him that comes up is so Matt.
Oh, it is.
Okay, I have to do this now. Maybe I'll pop that up.
It is.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I actually think the other picture, the less curly, I don't know. I guess they could all be.
I like it.
Impison. I'm not even going to try.
Mipson.
Barney Harris
Yeah,
always struck me as a more snarky and mature Matt. Donald is definitely more of a young, lovable scamp Matt. I'm good with the change. Yeah, I said what I said. Totally get it. I'm on board with that. I really am.
That's a good way to put it. I actually never thought about it, but Barney's Matt was almost more a memory of light and beyond Matt, I think, in terms of what, now that I'm thinking about it. He just didn't have that like young playfulness to everything I saw, which is admittedly not much.
Yes, we are working off of seconds of screen time. Like, it's just
for the last 2 years.
I mean, he does have a part. Guys, it's time for my other. I'm serious this time. I told everybody that I had a special guest that I was bringing Barney on. I wanted to reach out to him. I shot a message out to Barney, and here's what I got.
You're welcome.
Love it.
That's all you can do.
And
Barney sent
clearly not Barney. So this is not Barney, everybody, but it is the innkeeper from the Dusty Wheel.
Barney sent me.
Why not Barney?
Thanks, everybody.
Gosh,
How y'all
so
good.
we're actually. I think everybody went from like extreme sadness to okay, we're kind of optimistic about the new person, and then now, Matt, it's taken a without. You're going to assume this is my doing and has nothing to do with me. It has taken a like thirst route, like where everybody is now all about Donald.
It's Vance's fault. It's all Vance's fault.
Yeah, it is my fault.
So
I was out there really hard, just campaigning for it. So,
well, so we do have you here now, Matt. What would you say? What are your thoughts? I mean, let's get the initial reaction from you. You saw this article come out, and your thoughts were what?
Ooh, that's a great question. Well, I really love Barney Harris as this character. So I'd already kind of, maybe you guys started doing this. He was already the character in my head when I was thinking about Matt, right? Like reading the books, whatever it is, he'd already kind of overtaken that. So I think any change like that's pretty just significant from like a mindset perspective. Like I thought I was ready to see his version of it. And we do get to see it, right? Season 1 will be what it sounds like, as far as we know, Barney Harris, right? So we will get that. And so I guess part of me is just really grateful that since my headcanon is now Barney Harris, that first season was pretty special to have him. Yeah, I think I'm still in kind of that phrase. I mean, certainly I just tweeted out, a big welcome, obviously, to Donald. Is it Donald? Donald. Obviously to Wheel of Time fandom. I think you covered this earlier while I was kind of writing up some stuff that, we don't hold any grudge against anyone here, right? This is just how these things happen, and wish the best of health and much love to Barney Harris. And like he was still part of the cast, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I wasn't trying to intimate that in my tweet. It wasn't like you'll be missed as in later. It was you'll be missed as in you're part of this, but obviously moving forward, not being part of it, you'll be missed in that sense. So I mean, there's part of me that feels like, well, he's still here. He's still part of the show, and we'll get to still kind of celebrate and enjoy, his performance. Hopefully, you know what I mean. Like when we get it, if this makes sense, I want to be distraught. Like I want to
Yeah.
see, I want to
Mhm.
watch the show and be sad, like deeply sad, because that means that Barney will have done a fantastic job.
Doing a good job,
Right.
yeah.
And so
Yeah.
part of me is like, wow, like it's going to be a really interesting thing to know this information going in, because I think the more we fall in love with that character, if we do, then the deeper our sense of, you know, his performance will be, and that loss will actually be a good thing for us, as in a good feeling, meaning that we got something really great. So yeah, I guess I'm just in that kind of, I don't know, nostalgia is the wrong word for it. Because like I'm thinking about the future, like it's kind of gone all the way around right in a circle, and
You're
it
sad
hasn't
for a
happened
loss
yet,
that
you know?
hasn't happened yet.
Preemptive
Yeah.
nostalgia. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
What do you think, Matt? Let me pose it because we talked about this a little earlier. What do you think of the timing of this? Because I can't think that Amazon wanted this to come out now. You know, my main thought is I think Amazon would have wanted this to come out after the season, because now we're going to be watching knowing that this character we can't get too attached to because he's not going to be here.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, I can't imagine that's the experience they wanted us to have.
Yeah, I would imagine that. I mean, in a perfect world, right? The season goes all the way through, and then afterwards, a month later, we find whatever. But the world isn't that way, right? They're filming season 2. If this news dropped, my assumption is, you know, somebody shared something, or you know what I mean? Like, who knows? And the news got somewhere, and that's. I mean, look at all the news that, as fans, we've uncovered, right? Not just, I'm not talking about like leaks from, you know, some kind of inside source or whatever. I'm just talking about things that, you know, people might have shared, or an innocent picture here when all of a sudden we know what they had for breakfast the other day, and where they were traveling. And I don't mean that in a creepy way. I mean, we're such socially connected people now. And I mean breakfast because they took a picture of their breakfast and posted it to Instagram. And so all of a sudden you're like, yeah, they were in this city the other day. And now that makes sense. We can connect these dots. I'm assuming something like that happened here. And, you know, it got to, I mean, Deadline, everyone tells me Deadline is like, basically you trust them like they're a pretty reliable source. So I don't know Deadline very well, but I would assume, okay, so they clearly felt very confident in this. I mean, when was the last time Deadline Hollywood broke any Wheel of Time news? You know, like this was.
Well, supposedly Dragon Mount confirmed it.
Yeah.
Yes, I read that article, and it said, and then they did a follow-up tweet, assuming it was Jason that tweeted the reply saying that they had been sent. I thought I saw this in a tweet saying they'd been sent an email or got a reply to an email or something to that effect. So
I saw that tweet too, and I'm pretty sure it was Jason.
Yeah, so I don't know. To me, this is one of those situations where it was inevitable, and if they'd already hired somebody for season 2, right? Like he's already been cast. So, I mean, I don't know how long they've been shooting season 2. I can't remember when that began. I don't keep those dates in my head.
A month or something now.
Okay, so
yeah.
So one would assume that this, if he's already been cast, they had to go find someone, right?
Right.
And so this is something that they clearly knew before now, and everyone was likely aware of it. So I would assume they knew that this was inevitable, but I would have preferred, of course, to have not known. But that's whatever. That's it's not about me. It's about these individuals, right? And it's about Barney Harris and Donal and the cast and crew. So, you know, what we can do obviously is what we're doing now is talking about this change and trying to be respectful to everyone's, privacy, while obviously still talking about this as fans. So yeah, I appreciate that. It seems like most fans, at least among our circles, right, are being pretty respectful in the sense of talking about this and showing reasonable care for the people involved, and not being too kind of outrageous with our speculation. Because trust me, right, like Dusty Wheel is all about news and rumors that appeal, right?
So Mauricio put up this comment. I have it up here. It'll be weird if Barney gets Best Supporting at an award show.
Oh, sure.
I think she's.
But we can only hope he does. You know what I mean? It goes back to that. I hope he does, right? Like any cast member, I want their best performance. I want to believe it. I want them to be so amazing that we are distraught. So I hope he does. You know,
Yeah.
In that sense, because that would mean that again that we got something wonderful as fans.
Let's hit Jason's comment here real quick. Jason Moe, first of all, thank you. Hi, all. Excited for the new Matt. Do you suppose this Barney news explains the lack of focus on Rand, Matt, and Perrin in the teaser trailer? As in, they knew this casting change was in the wind and didn't want us getting too attached. So, in other words, I think what he's asking is because the trailer did not focus a ton on the boys, right? It was sort of spread around. Now, that being said, I also think that there was more of the boys than you think there was. I think it felt that way just because they weren't on the screen a ton, but they were there. But yeah, do you think that? Let's throw that out to you guys. Do you think that that's a conscious thought?
I personally don't. Just I don't know. I got a couple of comments on my videos saying like this trailer or this teaser was a trash because the main character is Rand, and I'm like, no, he's not. Like it's like in the first book, he is, yes, but I honestly feel like after that, it's an ensemble. So I feel like the teaser was this is the cast. These are the important people. All of them, and I think that was intentional, so you don't.
Well, and FYI, I want to call attention. Matt actually tweeted out a video compilation that I think you or Taylor put together of.
It was me. It's not Taylor good. It's not Taylor
well,
good.
I assume anything technical Taylor did it. So
wow.
No.
Hey, look, I've seen how the sausage is made. We were there. And we know who runs the show there. Matt is the figurehead. I'm joking.
This is true.
But no, Matt tweeted out a video a compilation from the trailer of all the scenes, and there's actually quite a few of them. So do throw that out there. But I would say my reaction is not so much that I thought that they were trying to avoid the boys as much as I think they're trying to make this an ensemble, as Jenny was saying.
Yeah.
It's not we're not focused on just Rand. Like Rand is 92% of the point of view chapters in Either World.
Yeah.
I don't think we're getting that.
Yeah. No.
So that was my take on it.
Yeah. And didn't people say, not that they can't change these things over time. I thought they were like, well, you all were like, the trailer's going to drop early, or it's like supposed to be like early summer, like they had been working on this thing, but I guess they could have gone through and changed it. I don't know. I thought what we got of the boys and of Matt, I actually of Matt in particular, I felt like we got more Matt than Perrin,
Yeah, absolutely did.
So, and I really liked the Matt portions they gave us. Him running away from clearly a person and not on a horse. I don't know if people are crazy with that theory. That running scene is fantastic. His kind of look away from the Aiel. I mean, that's that Aiel in a cage moment that he's there for. His look at the table is so focused on him. That is. I mean, and you guys were talking about this earlier. It's not that. And is it Donal?
Donal.
Yeah.
Not that Donal won't make and a great Matt, but Barney Harris in that scene at the table to me is just. I don't know. That called it back to me, like when I was 15, picking up the books and reading it. Like that was, the Matt that I wanted.
Have you seen the interview with Donal yet?
Did you? Is it the one you played?
Yeah.
I was looking away, so I didn't pay attention to the whole thing because I was working on it.
I'll play a couple seconds of this again for you.
Okay.
And
Start your first fingers. Start them.
Here we go.
Hi, I'm Donal and I'm playing Ivan McCormack in Chasing Bonham.
Here is my confession.
I was intrigued by the part of Ivan because he's quite a naive and likeable character, and he's talented and he has potential to succeed.
Kick him when he's down.
My doppelganger is probably Pierce Brosnan, and he knows it. No, it's not. My doppelganger is my best mate, Aina from home.
Okay. A little shorter, but so do you have any different thoughts on him as Matt? because one of the things, and I didn't get this far into the clip, but he has a couple moments later where he has a smile and he bites his lip, and he's kind of got the innocent yet not innocent smile down, like his best smile. You can see it.
Yeah, I can think. I mean, just from that short clip, again, that's not even him acting. That's just him being himself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, when I put their faces side by side, and I think Dragon Mount like put out like an image with their casting shots or whatever, and there's a lot of similarity there. I guess, in just facial shape. So, I guess I'm glad they made that choice a little bit. Like, the difference won't be maybe as, I don't know, maybe that's stupid. Maybe it doesn't, maybe in the end, you're just going to notice anyway, so it wouldn't matter. I don't know. Like, I just put them side by side and I was like, oh, wow, they actually did find somebody that, has good acting chops and looked similar to the person that they already cast. So, I don't know. What was that?
Somebody died.
Sorry, that was my dog. Sorry, he barked at something. I don't know what. Maybe a car drove by outside. Sorry.
I was wondering if it was a cat.
Well, we'll take that break in the action. Loyal's Book Club says Donal's Matt looks a bit impish trickster, and he could play a kind of darker Matt versus Barney's Matt seem very of the books.
Oh, see, I've seen the
interesting.
opposite.
I was going to say the opposite.
Opposite, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
I mean, this is how it's going to go, right? Like, at the end of the day,
everybody's opinion is going to be different, of course.
Yeah, whoever they pick, it's going to be, you're gonna find something about that person. Again, this goes to the point that Rafe made a long time ago, which was, he's like, I hope you find something that is the books in the show, and maybe that pisses off people. I don't know. I guess it makes me a shill to just accept the concept that Rafe is saying here, which is like, oh yeah,
that's not what makes you a shill, Matt. It's the yachts that Amazon emails you.
Oh yeah,
that's what makes you a shill.
Email you a yacht.
Emails you a yacht.
A picture of a yacht. It's a picture of a yacht.
Okay.
If I'll just sell my soul, that's what
the paperwork to a yacht.
No, again, he made that comment, and I feel like we do that with the cast members, right? Which is what we're looking for when they portray a character. You're looking for something that signals to you like, yes, this is what my brain connects, whether or not it's a smile, whether or not it's a nod of the head, whether or not it's the way they, grab the dice and throw it on the table, whatever it is. And you go, yes, and now I can kind of embed with this person as this character. And I think that's what we're going to do, right? With Donal, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to look just like you all have here. I can't get there yet. And maybe that's just me. And it's like, in other words, I'm not ready to go there yet. Like, I'm so glad that's the wrong way to say it. I welcome him right in to the fandom. He's here and he's part of this fandom now. And that's awesome. My brain still is like, but until second season, Barney Harris is Matt Cobb. And so I'm not even like, and it'll be some moment in January where I'm like, my brain will make the switch of like, okay, now I'm ready to make that transition. So I haven't done a lot of inspection, for Donal as in looking for Matt in him. Does that make sense?
Right. So yeah, like Barney hasn't taken over my head canon yet. I think I've said this before. Marcus is the only one from seeing his picture that took over my head canon. From the trailer, Sophie Okonedo is Swan, like that. Immediately in the trailer, she was like, "Oh, yeah, perfect." Like, that's perfect. But so far, those are the only two actors that are, when I picture them in my head, they're actors. So I guess it's harder if that has already happened in your brain. Because if they recast Marcus, I will like it'll be a record scratch happening in my brain.
Miss Sarah James breaking some news here again.
Yeah.
IMDb info. Donal Finn has worked with Hamad Animashan in a previous Amazon project, How to Build a Girl. I'm gonna have to watch that to see both of them.
What was I going to say? It had to do with that. Shoot. I had this comment.
Wait, you're going to have to redo Becoming Matt again.
I got it.
Yeah.
I will say the Finn thing is getting me.
Yeah.
Like my brain is like, okay, that's cool. I don't know why I care about that, but because I don't. It's just one of those like.
But it's awesome that it's
fun.
him. Like it could be, if it was any of the other actors who had that as a last name, it would be like, that's cute. But it's
Yeah.
Matt.
But it's Matt. It's Matt. And so there'd be like a little, every time I say his name, I will kind of be like, oh, when I lose Finn, it'd be like, oh, Finn.
Woohoo.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yep.
keep wanting to call him Dahmer Flynn. So
Yeah.
we have another tip here from Adam.
Mhm.
Speaking of the Emmonsfield 5, if they skip Camelin for Tarvalin, why do you think Nynaeve and Egwene can continue to fall Dara instead of noviciating in the tower? So essentially, how do they continue on? And that's a question that I don't think we have an answer to yet,
Yeah.
because I'm not entirely sure. If
This
they
is one
show
of
up in Tarvalin, what's the excuse to leave Tarvalin?
Tarvalin, yeah. This is one of the things I'm actually really excited about for the changes. Like, you know, all of us have read all of the books, right? We can't read them again for the first time. Like, it's impossible. But we can watch, like, we get to have this first time experience. I love the fact that I don't know. Like, I haven't had that experience with Wheel of Time in like a really long time. So it's really cool to be like,
I'm right there with you, Jenny.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
I can guess and theorize, but I don't know.
I want to add this comment. I just made it to Marcel in chat, which is and this goes back to that whole idea of there, you know, even just you look at the Wheel of Time and how it's set. It's not that Luz Theron is not the soul, like one of the personalities of the oh wait, are we full spoilers? Sorry, I should say this. Okay. It's not that Luz Theron isn't one of the souls. He's a personality of that soul that is the dragon, the avatar of the light, and Rand is another. And there's that, to me, Barney Harris doesn't stop being Matt Cawthon because he maybe isn't part of season, beyond season 1. He will be one of the soul that is Matt Cawthon. And then Donal Finn will be another personality on top of Matt Cawthon. Just like people pointed this out today with Brandon Sanderson, right? Like they said, Brandon wrote it, and we got another version of Matt Cawthon from Brandon from Robert Jordan. This is just one of those things that just always builds into it. Again, just the way that Robert Jordan built this, it just works in the sense of, we're not losing. Barney Harris himself will be missed as being part of the cast, but we're not losing Barney Harris as Matt Cawthon. He will always be part of the soul of Matt Cawthon in the TV show, to me. So
I agree, Matt. I want to hit one comment, and then I want to ask you a question as kind of a follow-up to that. So first, we had Craig Wadding. Thank you again. As long as they don't recast Bella, I'm still in. Agreed, although you got to spell Bella right, man.
Yeah.
You got to spell Bella right.
No, Bella is isn't she the vampire from...
Yes. Gosh, that's such a
Twilight?
good movie. Such a movie.
Is she a vampire? I've never seen that.
Yes.
Okay.
So, Matt, what do you prefer direction-wise? So they've already made the change. We know they're doing it, right? So I think there's two different ways, because obviously Donal has a very Irish accent. It will not be the same accent that Barney had.
Okay.
So are you of the opinion, would you like to see them try to either have an in-world explanation for the physical differences or the sound differences from his mouth? Or would you prefer them to go the route of, nope, I just want them to clean cut, just do it without acknowledging it and move on?
I just like that you specified where the sound was coming from. Anyway, please continue.
I think in the books, if I'm not mistaken, there is some of that. Like, in other words, you have when they see Matt in bed, like in the tower, they're like, as in, there is some notion where people are aware that there've been changes, but I don't know that I like that kind of breaking the fourth wall and like, hey, you look different kind of stuff in TV shows. To me, it's just like, and for a show like this, I would rather they take it much more. I would rather they take it serious and not give us that. So I would say no. I would say I hope they do not kind of just like wink at the audience, but I get it. Maybe that's something they'll test in an audience somewhere and be like, well, 95% of the audience loved that we winked at them, so we'll include a wink. And that's probably how it'll happen. And maybe I would enjoy it, but as I am thinking about it now, I don't want them to.
I agree with you. So I just want them to make the clean cut. I'm thinking of like all the other shows that did it. There's the initial, like Game of Thrones did it multiple times. There's the initial, you look at it and you go, oh. And then like 5 minutes later, you don't care and you move on. Right? Like I I just want them to pretend like it didn't happen and just go with it.
Me too.
Same.
Well, guys, I want to. I wanted to go. We went a little bit over. I normally only go an hour. We went an hour and 15 because we had a. I thought it was Barney Harris. Ended up being the innkeeper, but
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
But no, I wanted to make sure we got a chance to talk. Any last thoughts before we take off here on the casting, on anything else that we didn't hit on that you wanted to bring up? Because I know Jenny and I were originally going to talk about other things tonight. That didn't happen. So what, any other thoughts? I guess I'll throw it out to you guys.
Well, I would say this. I know a lot of people were like, are you going to go live? I was thinking about doing a show after this. I put out a couple polls about that. I probably will do something Wednesday. I want to let this sit a little bit. You know, I think people have had a cathartic moment. Hopefully they jumped in. I know not everybody will have jumped in here, but I think I would like a moment to think a little bit more about this, you know, and just talking to you all here for 20 minutes or something, I've had different thoughts than I've had for the last couple of hours. You know, I want to let probably the dust settle for those that are the dust settle. There you go. And we'll probably come back maybe at a Wednesday afternoon lunchtime, you know, kind of time like What Wednesday news normally drops. And I might jump in and do something before our What Wednesday evening episode. But that's just to say, like, let's let this kind of settle in us a bit and let's see how we're all feeling in a couple days about this news. Because and maybe we'll get something else from the Wheel of Time. Maybe they'll say something, you know. But yeah, just much love for the cast and crew and Barney and Donal. You know, wish them all some privacy in this moment and some health.
You know darn well you're going to plan to go live at lunch, and then Amazon's going to drop, here's all the Forsaken castings. And then you're going to be like, oh, crap.
6
All
hours
right,
only.
quitting my job, 15-hour live stream. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Oh,
Thankfully,
man.
they're dropping the episodes Fridays.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't have to give up my job. I can still like maintain my job and take some PTO for 6 Fridays and hope that I can
Right.
I can still maintain it.
What about for you, Vance and Jenny? Any last thoughts?
Well, for me, just in general, I still exercise, you know, let's just not jump to any conclusions about the whole deal. And personally, for me, Donna looks a little bit more like Matt than Barney did. So I'm a little bit more positive on this, maybe than some of those folks who were super attached to Barney were. And I'm trying to acknowledge that. But, you know, I mean, these things happen. We have to just roll with it. And we're fans of the series. It's perfect for this. The wheel weaves as the wheel wills. So
Yep.
we'll survive.
Yeah, I think Donal is gonna do a good job. Like, I mean, again, no idea of his acting ability. He looks and feels the part, so I think he's gonna do good. It is a wait and see. Like I said before, I kind of wish I didn't know watching the first season that this was the case, but I do now. Can't undo it, so I gotta roll with it. And yeah, I think Donal's gonna be good. I hope Barney is also good, and that's pretty much all I have to say on this.
Well, I appreciate it. I want to say thank you to Adam. He's actually Steve post Portal Stone. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we had another Jason Moe, season 2, all of the Emmonsfield 5 must now speak Irish accents.
Oh, weaves, as the
That'd be
weave
great.
is.
Hey. Oh, and I missed one. Meg Sadai, Donal will be a lovable Matt. And this, I think, is a good one to end on. The wheel weaves as the wheel wills.
Yes.
And isn't that the case? So, hey, everybody, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you to my guests, Matt Hatch, Jenny, and Vance. Check out all of their YouTube channels. Matt will be live for 17 hours on Wednesday to talk about just this casting. Just this casting.
Yeah.
So make sure you stay. And he'll have a panel of 75 people in line to come in and give their opinions, because that's
Exactly.
how the Dusty Wheel rolls. So
That's right.
yeah, but thank you all for joining. I will, if you want to, I will be in my Discord channel for a little bit after this to do kind of a hangout and chat for anybody that wants to join. If you're new to Discord, you just click the link in the description of the video. You'll automatically join the server. and we'll be in. Yeah, we'll be in there chatting. So be in there for a little bit, and look forward to seeing you. But thank you guys for coming, and bye.
Bye.
Bye.